Yes, we are live, y'all.
Yeah.
We are live. Welcome to Scrampunks episode 35. We are live.
Yeah.
We are feeling good tonight. Yeah. Episode feeling great. We are live.
Uh-oh.
We are feeling good tonight. Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, shit.
What's somebody
in the background?
Is that me or is that one of y'all?
I don't know, probably one of us.
I don't think it's me. Somebody playing in the back.
What's somebody
in the background?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think it might be Bunny. I don't know, probably
What? What have I done?
I think you're playing. Are you playing the podcast in the background, dear? Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, I gotta mute it. There we go.
There we go. Thank
All
you.
right.
All right, y'all. What's going on, y'all? Like I said, Scrampunks episode 35, and we are live and we are ready to talk about some games. That's what we do. We talk about games. My lovely panel. Damn, I gotta stop saying lovely with men.
Come on, bro.
I gotta stop saying my lovely panel.
Snow Bunny, then fix it after
it's
that.
It's okay, bro. Bunny. I can say you're lovely.
Yes.
I can't call it two other grown men lovely.
Come on, man.
I just can't do that.
Yes. Okay, guys, you guys are some lovely gentlemen.
Okay, thank you. Now you can say that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I damn sure ain't calling it.
We're gonna let Snow Bunny start introducing us.
I damn sure ain't calling them lovely. All right, what's going on? Snow Bunny, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you doing tonight, guys?
I'm great.
I don't know what's wrong with me today, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, man,
You've had too much drink.
I'm exhausted, man. I don't know. I'm just me and Neethles is going through some serious exhaustion, man. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, man, y'all my heroes, man. Anyway.
Uh-oh. Oh, I thought Dirt.
He cut out just for a second. I think he's back.
Okay, good.
Man, my shit always cut off like that. I don't know why it like disappeared for like 3 seconds and then because I always listen back. But like, damn it. I disappeared right at the beginning of the show last week and for like 2 seconds and came back.
It's consistency, bro. It's consistency.
Yeah, it is damn sure. I don't know why it does that. I don't know. Nethos, what's going on with you, brother?
Nothing but just chilling back on my PC playing, the great Civilization 5. That's how you know I'm a PC gamer. I'm playing an old ass game, and I'm enjoying that. It's a fun game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, MM2K, what's up, man? You know, what are you doing with this newly found fame of yours, brother?
Oh man, hey,
with
look,
the quality content you guys are delivering, you and Nethos,
man. Hey, look, to be fully transparent, Nethos saved that goddamn show. I was all over the place. I was ping-ponging it. But no, man, look, just to address real quick, not to go too far. Big up to J-Dubs, just to provide a little bit of background as the chat is filling in and everybody. Big ups to FC Violent. East Texas, Alex, what's up, man? Everybody in the chat. FC Violence at 60 minutes with nothing. MM2K. Yeah, we was on our Walter Cronkite and Tom Brokaw. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
No, just to provide a little bit of background. I had did a video a few while ago. See, that's why I needed Nethos because I can't talk.
A few while ago,
I did a video, right? I did the prognosis, right? Where I was like talking about the do's and don'ts of YouTube, and even I only got 3.5 followers. You know what I'm saying? And then this kind of happened as a result of that to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So it was good. It was fantastic that Graphic Guard came through, shared that experience with everybody, and kind of caused a ripple tide in the Xbox space-time continuum. But it was needed. It's causing a lot of discussion, and it was needed. And after it all, me and Nethos have now been labeled the asinine agenda holders. Now the asinine. I was like, asinine agenda holders. That sounds like a mix of Barron and Bill Nye the Science Guy. Golly, but I'll take it.
Hey, man, that video was so dope. I'm going to put it in my favorite my playlist. Hell yeah. That was dope. But, all right, y'all. There's a few gaming topics this week. Not a lot, but we're gearing up for E3. That's in less than a month now, y'all. I'm hyped for that, especially as an Xbox guy. As a PlayStation guy, I would be hyped too to watch Xbox. because they can't watch nothing of their own this year.
They ain't going to the bowl this year, bro.
But let them tell it, Xbox ain't gonna never have no more damn games for existence.
Yeah.
But anyway, y'all. So let's get into these topics. First thing is first. Let me get the damn topic.
You know what? Before you, not to interrupt you, but it just hit me. A thought just hit me. Greatness ain't got nothing to show. God damn. Just think about that, y'all. Greatness awaits, but greatness ain't got nothing to show. They told y'all okay, I digress. Go ahead, continue.
Wait a minute. Greatness is in who?
That's their moniker. Wait for greatness, and then all the sparks and blue lightning and shit come out of the sky. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Nintendo talked about one damn game today. They could have came in and had a 10-minute show talking about one game, right, Bunny? So they talk about one game.
No, you're wrong. We had 15 minutes.
Get him, Bunny.
We had 15 minutes, and this was the first time we've gotten any information since Mario Maker 2 was announced.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they announced it, then it dropped off the radar, and then they came out with a 15-minute direct. But you have to think about it. Mario Maker comes out 3 weeks after E3. They couldn't wait to start building the hype up at E3 for it.
Okay, that's a pretty good release date. It's like 3 weeks after E3. So yeah, they're definitely getting hyped for that. But let's talk about something right quick. Let's start off with Gears 5. Now, this isn't a big topic, but it's just something I wanted to touch on because
it's a buzzworthy topic.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's a cover art that I don't know if it's official, but there's some cover art out there that people are complaining about. Me personally, when I go to McDonald's, I don't give a shit how the bag looks. I care about what's in the bag. So it's fake raised to me. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it is a rumored release date of September 10th. What do you guys think about that? I think that's a pretty good release date for me personally. What do you guys think? Nathan, what you think, bro?
Well, not only do I think that's a good release date, I think it's very realistic because Forza isn't coming out this year. And Forza always did take the September release date. So if you can get Gears to come instead, kind of come out earlier, face less competition, maybe get some recognition. And this Gears looks like to be one of the best Gears out there. Like this might be high 80s for all we know, maybe low 90s. Hopefully. I'm just hoping here. And you know what? I'm glad for it because I want to Maslin in the chat.
Fuck your couch.
Right. But no, I want Gears to come out because I love Gears. I put hundreds of hours into Gears 4 and I can't wait. And speaking about the art cover, to me, well, I agree with you, Dirt, that what really matters is the game. I don't look at the cover very often. I will say it looks very fan artish. You know what I mean? Like
it does.
It looks very amateurish. So I hope they change that up, but really that's the best you got. Like I don't really care about the box art. I care about the game.
Now, let me ask you this. Say, hypothetically, if Gears 5 did hit 89, 90 Metacritic, what would PlayStation guys say?
It's a multiplat. That's the theme, though. If it's a high Metacritic, if it reviews well, look at the Horizon series, well, that's a multiplat. If it's a Crackdown, gets like a 69 or less, 65, I think Crackdown's what that's at, that's an Xbox exclusive, so it is what it is.
Yep. Wait a minute, guys. It could be like how Octopath, when it released in Japan, the people who didn't know about it in Japan, when they found out it was coming out and saw the lines for it, one of the top trending Google searches in Japan was PlayStation 4 Octopath Traveler. If Gears 5 gains a high enough release score, people might be Googling if it's on PS4.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, somebody, there's an echo. We got an echo.
That might be me.
No, it just sounded like it was just Dirts.
Yo.
Hello.
Yeah, I think we're good though.
Oh yeah, you
gone
good
now.
Okay.
It's gone now. So what you think about this, Moss?
Well, before I get into that, big ups to the real Maslin in the chat. I got a restraining on your punk ass, so watch yourself, buddy. Anyway, yeah, I'm with Griggity too, man. I'm not worried about the goddamn cover art, but this leads into a whole. So me, I'm gonna put on my 10-4 hat right now. I got to turn the shit up. All right. So this whole this cover art is being talked about, and people are just going crazy and setting couches on fire and shit because there's a woman on the cover and it's SJW noise again. Like, come on, man. The PlayStation Nation, I get it. Y'all ain't got nothing to show.
Oh,
greatness is broken. You know what I'm saying, for 2019. So y'all on this SJW kick, man. Y'all showing pictures of women bending over and for y'all new memes and avatars. I get it. It's dry. It's dry as a Sahari. But stop it, man. It's just cover art. We all know that if there's anything that's been consistent with Xbox, even through this rough time, it's been Gears. Gears has always been fire. And Gears ain't my favorite game, but this Gears 5 is going to be fire, man. So
I agree.
And unless Last of Us or Death Stranding come out of the woodwork, y'all know y'all still praying, biting y'all nails, and praying to the rain god, to the many face god. Hey, look, unless that come out of nowhere, y'all 2019 might not look as good as Xboxes. I'm putting it out there.
Ooh.
How many of y'all playing Dreams? None of y'all playing Dreams. Who's still playing the baseball game? I don't hear that much talk about Days Gone anymore. All y'all want to do again, they have pictures of women bending over and avatars. And y'all know when that Gears 5 come out, stop it. Days Gone might be all right, but y'all know it ain't messing with Gears 5. Just stop.
I mean, to be honest with you, their release, PlayStation's release year is looking a lot like Xbox's, where nothing.
Hey, look, I want to talk. See, we're going, like I said, it's buzzworthy, but thank you, Bunny, for MM2K gonna keep it real. I did my Walter Cronkite. I'm feeling good about my words now. You know what I'm saying? Did my Walter Cronkite with my brother Nethos. I'm just gonna put it out there. Besides having Spider-Man and God of War, which were two bangers, one was more of a banger financially, as it really being a banger of a game. Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? But besides having God of War and Spider-Man drop in the same year, what greatness have y'all really given to the gaming generation? You know what I'm saying? Y'all gave us Horizon Zero Dawn, where the motherfuckers had to go around and search for Kane as fetch quests. You know what I'm saying? Last of Us 4 was a climbing simulator. The Last Guardian took 35 years to come out, and I was just like a 3D puzzler. It's goddamn it, some platform puzzler. I mean, if you really think about it, what greatness have you really given us? So why don't y'all stop with the SJW talk? Stop with all the silly stuff, because y'all ain't got nothing to show. Go to your company of choice and say, look, I appreciate God of War. I appreciate Spider-Man, but goddamn PlayStation, this is supposed to be greatness, because now you got 100 million consoles out there and you're beating Xbox by 50 million. You're going to take your foot off the gas? Oh, the hell with that. When is The Last of Us coming out? When is it? Get off this other kick about worrying about the Xbox covers and worry about when y'all stuff is coming out, because I don't think that's right. That Sony took their foot off the gas to satisfy some investors. Yeah, I said it. At me.
I mean, I can't say nothing. Nintendo has more going on this year.
Facts.
Damn, I mean, we got like 6 first parties coming out between now and Christmas.
Damn. Hey, man, y'all know what? I'm ecstatic right now. This behavior is absolutely incredible. Moss, Bunny, I love this. We don't get this often. This PlayStation bash. We don't get this often on this podcast.
Dirt, usually when you invite us onto the show, we have people unsubscribing from your channel and leaving in anger. Right now, we have them resubscribing.
Well, it's not even really bashing. How is it bashing when you're speaking the truth?
Oh, yeah. Hey, y'all ain't getting no disagreements from me right now.
I mean, I just had to keep it real, because I'm serious. There's the SJWs. You know, it sounds like some Public Enemy song, man. Like, stop, man. Y'all motherfuckers is dry. Y'all need to be on the horn with Yoshida. Yoshida, what you doing, bro? Like, where's Last of Us? Where's Death Stranded? You know what I'm saying?
Something else. We talk about it once in a while, but I really don't think people really realize it. 2016 E3 for Sony was great, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They announced all of their games for the rest of this generation. And God of War came out, obviously. Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone and Spider-Man. Yep. Those other games still are out, and they're going to be out next generation. Why are they getting a pass for that? 2016.
Facts.
It is 2019. 2020 is when those games might come out. Death Stranding might come out in 2021. Why are they getting a pass for that?
Yep.
Because
go ahead, Bunny. I'm sorry.
I was going to say they're getting a pass because right now they're the leading in the competition.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, "Oh, it's all great." Like, look at Nintendo. Nintendo just took a bunch of slack for canceling Metro Prime 4. But when you look at the reason they canceled Metro Prime 4, everybody's like, well, okay. And they even admitted they canceled it because they didn't like the way the studio was taking it. So they took it from the studio that was doing it and gave it to Retro and sent out an apology saying, hey, we're sorry. We announced this too early. We didn't like the way it was going. Right now, Sony, since it's the industry leader, they're like, oh, it's going to be okay. They're going to do with greatness. We're just going to wait till it comes out. If they were not the industry leaders, I guarantee you, let's say the roles of Xbox and PlayStation was switched, they'd be getting all types of slack.
Yo, I'm just going to say this just to follow up on that point. Bunny is absolutely right. She hit the nail right on the head that they're getting the slack because they're the winner. Just like when Xbox last year was winning and they was dropping that Connect shit, that they were getting, people were like, I mean, yeah, these are great games coming from the PlayStation 3, but it's over. You know what I'm saying? People were doing that. But that still don't stop you, the listening public, from opening your goddamn mouth. Sony has basically took their foot off the gas and said, you're going to wait until next generation before us to give you any fanfare, any greatness. You're going to wait because we doubled down in 2018 and we went all in. We ain't got nothing else to spare for y'all. We're doing everything for the investors. To me, that's a little bit of the Sony of last generation. And what I would do as a Sony fan, regardless of what has happened, y'all tell Xbox people, it don't matter that y'all came out with the games at the beginning of the generation. What's going on now? Keep that same energy. What's going on now? You're not getting
2018 don't matter what's going on now.
Yeah, open up your mouth and say, yo, this ain't good. Don't ever come up with a strategy like this. This ain't kosher. Nintendo was killing you in Japan. We're going to get into that. They're killing you in the NPD. Nobody want to talk NPD no more, right? Mount Piscatella don't even exist. You see what I'm saying?
Damn,
like,
that's right. They don't talk about that shit no more.
They don't talk about it. Keep that same energy because this is what Xbox did last generation. They took their foot off the gas. Look what happened. Anybody can get got. These gaming streets is like that, man. Straight
right
up.
There. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Shisno Elite in the chat says they get a pass because God of War got Game of the Year. That allowed them to bow out of E3 and be praised. Let's say this. In 2017, Nintendo's Breath of the Wild got Game of the Year.
Facts.
Nintendo did not take a pass. They did not bow out of anything. They came back. Last year was a little slow with all the games that were coming out with first-party games. But when they got to this year, oh my God, they're blowing it out the water.
Yeah, they're on fire.
Just because you get Game of the Year and you're selling 100 million consoles, that does not mean you can just tell your 100 million people who own your system, hey, we're going to take a pass right now. We're doing real good. We're not giving y'all anything this year.
Facts.
Hey, you know what, FC, you're exactly right because I did a video about that. The last few years, the 360 just wasn't good. It wasn't good. And it came back to bite them in the ass.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I think you guys are hitting the nail right on the head. The Council Pairs games show. Well, like first, let's go back to 2017. How
let's do it.
PSX was in 2017. It was a damn Howard Stern interview show. PSX 2017. 2018, E3 was ass. Council Pairs Games Week. Cancel PSX, cancel E3 for the first time ever. For the first time ever.
In what 25-year history or something like that, bro?
Yeah. I said we're leading, we're arrogant, we're leading by 50 million consoles. We already announced all of our games. We don't need to show up. Damn. Okay. Thanks, Sony. We appreciate it. Greatness awaits, y'all. Whatever, man.
The only thing going to happen is I think their next console, because what I'm seeing now happening in gaming is what happened when the PS2 led into the PS3 and Sony got cocky.
Yep.
That's the reason.
It's a seesaw. What you think about this, Neethles? But to me, it's a seesaw. Like whoever get the generation, they always want to take their foot off the brake. Oh, we're almost there. We're coasting. What you think, Neethles?
Well, this would be a great opportunity for Microsoft to really go in there and kill it. The only thing I worry about is the current Microsoft competitive in that type of way. You know how like the 360 they wanted to kill it. They wanted to own the market, and they really did own the market when you think about it. Last generation, clearly the 360 won, in my opinion. It made probably the most revenue. Maybe the Wii sold more, like King Thrash pointed out. It did sell more. But they didn't have Xbox Live. They didn't have all the multiplats. Like the 360 was killing in that regard. And even if
more software too.
Yeah, even if you have the argument, well, they have to pay for marketing deals. Sure. Assassin's Creed was a big seller, right? That was marketed by PlayStation. So the 360 got all that money without doing anything. Got all that DLC money without doing anything. So even that's a moot point. So back then, I could see, that type of Microsoft. They went in there, they killed it. I'm not sure if Phil Spencer and team wants to go and approach it like that type of Microsoft. This is like a different beast altogether, how they're doing it. Sure. I think they're going to be playing it as in, similar how they did it this generation, but they're going to really tackle the streaming aspect and stuff like that, because I think they look at Google as a big competitor. Even though we don't look at Google like a competitor like that, Microsoft does.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah, I think you guys are right, man. Because think about the 360. In North America, it killed the PS3 by like 16 to 17 million consoles. Worldwide, that's where it became a little bit closer, but it destroyed. And I know you guys heard the EA rumor about EA signed that Titanfall deal because they just knew, they felt in their heart that Xbox is going to win this generation. Obviously, they were wrong. But that's how much of a beast the 360 was, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
and everybody had a 360. My mom bought a 360. My mom bought a 360 to play one game and use it as a DVD player.
Yeah. But it's a shame that let me say it this way. I done changed my name to the Ronin, okay? And then just MM2. Why? Because even though I prefer Xbox, I'll give it to Xbox. I'll give it to PlayStation. I'll give it to Nintendo. All of these companies are Fortune 500 companies that put who first? The investors. So whenever they can take their foot off the gas, they're going to do it. Yeah. My purpose of just me having that rant wasn't just to downplay PlayStation. It was to keep y'all woke. Always understand that it's about the now. I don't care what Microsoft did when they come out of this generation. I don't care that they had the exclusives, and I don't even care what Sony did last year. What are they going to do now? And that's the same way all of y'all should be thinking.
Yep.
But then you also have to look at. Now, you said, Nintendo also looks at its investors, but you also have to look at in the past, Nintendo has gone against their investors. Yeah. Like when the Wii U was failing and everything, the investors wanted to lay off the Nintendo staff.
Yep.
But Iwata, rest in peace, he was like, no, I'm not going to sacrifice their jobs. He himself and some more of the people in Nintendo took a pay cut just to keep the staff there against the investors' wishes.
Yep.
So, I mean, you have to look at sometimes, they do side with the investors. They're all about the investors. But certain companies do things that set themselves apart from the investors.
Nintendo's just different altogether. You know what I'm saying?
No, they are.
Nintendo's just different. Go ahead, Mythos. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, no, what I want to say to Nintendo's credit is Nintendo's been killing it this generation, in my opinion. Like, they started, in 2017, March, right? They led up with Zelda. Game of the Year, 2018. They had a good year with the Pokemon thing coming out. Super Smash Bros. That's the number one fighter now. Whether you meant it or not, it is the number one fighter. And now in 2019, they're about to have the new generation of Pokemon. They got the Fire Emblem coming out. They have so many fucking games that, Nintendo, they're just killing it. I gotta admit it. You may not like the games, but they are killing it.
Well, you gotta look. June, we have Mario Maker 2 first party. July, we have Fire Emblem Three Houses first party. August is Astral Chain, and that's a third party exclusive. We still have Animal Crossing coming this year. We still have Luigi's Mansion coming this year, and we still have Pokemon without release dates for this year.
What about that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3? When is that coming?
Oh, yeah, that's coming out soon, too.
That's July, I think.
This year?
This year.
They're killing it.
Yeah,
and I'm not a Nintendo fan at all.
Shits about. Like, I don't care about Luigi. I'll be real with you. But that is still a big game for them. Like, that is something that appeals to that fan base.
And also they're doing a remake of Zelda's Link's Awakening.
Yep,
and I believe that's slated for this year also.
It is.
Damn. Hey, you know what, y'all? Since we're talking about Sony and Nintendo,
let's do it.
We might as well get into it.
Bang!
The Nintendo Switch has officially passed the PS4 in Japan. 2 years in. It has already passed it. Now, I hear all the time, yeah, it's coming for Xbox Head. Yeah, true. It is, definitely. But in Japan, why are no PlayStation guys talking about this? They already passed the PS4 in Japan, bro.
Now, wait a minute. They passed the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. Both of them.
Yeah, the whole family, bro. The whole family.
I believe it's definitely going to catch the Xbox One in no time. Definitely, no doubt about that.
They're estimating by the end of the year because we're at like 34 million.
But to that point, Griggity. I'm sorry. No, go ahead, Nethos. My bad. Go ahead, man.
Oh no, I'm just saying it's definitely going to catch the Xbox, but just so people know, like, you know how PlayStation fans aren't talking about NPD and stuff and not talking about sales like they usually do. Do not think for a second that they don't care, because I keep seeing every fucking week, wow, Days Gone outsold God of War in this game in Japan. Look how good Days Gone is doing in Japan. I'm like, hold the fuck up. Look how well it's doing in the UK. Like, no, you guys only talk about the shit when it's a positive.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, yo, Cali Rex, they didn't pass the Xbox One yet.
I mean, according to Remedy, that the system is at 40 million, so they're getting there. We don't doubt that they're going to do it.
It's going to happen, but not yet.
But to that point, I mean, Phil said it himself. I wish I could find this interview, but I remember seeing it. Phil said it himself. I think he was talking to John Baum or somebody. They asked him, well, what's the strategy with the Xbox One family, being that this is right before the Scorpio/DX came out. And he said, well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, guys. The secret, he said, everybody knows in my seat that are in my seats in all the other companies. Everybody knows that the secret sauce is you want to sell more software and less hardware, meaning we want to sell more games, and we want to do it by selling less consoles because they lose money on the consoles. Well, at least Microsoft does. So to compare what the Switch is doing and saying, oh, they're going to overcome what the Xbox is doing as far as consoles is concerned, that's judging by the lowest common denominator. Xbox don't want to sell consoles. They just want to sell software. You need to look at the hardware giant, which is Sony. In their homeland, they just got curb stomped. They got their teeth kicked out into the sewers. You know what I'm saying? So please stop judging by the lowest common denominator. Xbox is out of the game. We know they're not going to be here they're not going to fight again until next generation. Sony, stop being arrogant and cocky, because it says a lot for Nintendo to just be coming out and they're beating you in their homeland. Period.
But here's another thing you have to think about this way. Everybody, PlayStation, Sony, even Nintendo fans, everybody's saying that the Switch is underpowered. We have none of this. We have none of that. What PlayStation has all of and more power.
Mm-hmm.
This is proven that power doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's what the software is.
Mm-hmm. It really is. Yeah, that's because that's a good point because
Yeah,
the Nintendo
I mean,
Switch,
you can have power. Yeah, it's not the greatest, it's not the most powerful system out here, but we have like I said, Smash Brothers. Like Neetha was saying, that's the #1 fighter in the world. Everybody bought one just for that. I personally know about 5 people who are waiting for Animal Crossing to drop on the Switch, so they could buy that.
Let me address homie Cali Rex. Big up to homie Cali Rex. Subscribe to him, right click on him, subscribe to my homie's channel. He's an up and coming YouTuber, man, definitely. But I gotta give him this work. he gonna get jumped in today. Hey, Cali Rex says, hey, Dirt Griggity, no surprise Switch is dominating in Japan. Consoles are dead there. It's all about handheld market. Hey, Cali, that might be true, but what the hell happened to the Vita? Okay, go ahead, continue. I'm done.
Oh, Sony stopped supporting the Vita.
Exactly.
And they canceled it. But the thing that killed the Vita, because I was all about getting a Vita, what killed the Vita was those proprietary memory cards.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Sony, no matter how you slice it, Sony is getting their ass stomped in their homeland. You can't gloss over that. You just can't do it.
G5, man, you know you wrong.
What he said?
Yeah,
He said
G5.
he said 100 million install base, but first party games only sell 10 million.
Uh-oh.
Man, that is true for like a lot of things. Like even the 360, the install base was huge, but like the exclusives weren't selling like that. But I will say for Nintendo, my God, do you guys buy your exclusives?
Hell yeah,
absolutely.
Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you gotta look at like the reason they're putting all these games, like games that were coming out saying, "Oh, we're never going to be on the Switch," and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we're coming to the Switch." That's because every game that come on there makes them a ton of money. Like Cuphead, when it came, I think it's still in the top 10 on the eShop, and it was at number 1 before the game even dropped on the Switch for pre-purchases. I bought my Switch in February of 2018. So many games. I've bought over 30 games for it since then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
That's how many games are coming out for it that I want.
Hey, you know what? But Nintendo, you gotta give those guys credit. They definitely cater to their fan base. They know what their fan base want, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
But doesn't that also make Sony look like for coming into next gen? Because have you guys been seeing all the censorship Sony's been doing?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Okay, so that's going to hurt them because they're catering more to Western taste for gaming, but the Japanese developers and things, they're going to cater. Japan is a very niche country. They're going to cater to their own first.
Oh, absolutely.
So do you think that because Sony is censoring all these games coming into next gen or even later this gen, those developers are going to be like, okay, we're going to make stuff for the Switch, and with what's his face, Philly boy over in Japan and all these countries, don't you think that they're going to say, oh well, hey Xbox, you're not going to censor our game?
The only problem with that is, again, I don't want to sound like I'm not being racist or anything like that. I deal a lot. I wish I could tell you which Japanese. I deal a lot with some huge Japanese companies. And it's a business strategy and it works for them. Japanese companies are nativists, meaning they will deal with the Japanese before they deal with the wide-eyed Americans, right? So what they'll do is they, like, to your point, Bunny, though, what they will do is they'll just double down on Nintendo. Microsoft ain't gonna get too much shake from this, but they'll double down on Nintendo and say, ooh, Nintendo, here, look, do this. Here, Nintendo, look, do that. Power, like you said, power don't really mean much because y'all curb stomping Sony. So here, ooh, look, take this. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna start seeing Square Enix really doubling down back on Nintendo like in the old days. You know what I'm saying? But no, you do bring up a good point. Cali Rex had mentioned his rebuttal to what I just said was Sony moved their headquarters, but still Sony ain't cut its ties in Japan. With that being said, yeah, you are right. They are trying to cater to the Western audience because that's giving them their biggest consumer base. So because of that, they're going to double down on Nintendo, and it's going to bite Sony in the butt. Because if you really think about it, and I'm going to shut up. When you really think about it, okay, you had God of War, you had Spider-Man, you had Uncharted 4. But what really made in Horizon Zero Dawn, which really didn't do gangbusters until it was dropped to $20 for that Black Friday sale, Black Friday. That's why Sony didn't talk about it until the following year. But it wasn't those games that had the greatness moniker there and the exclusive moniker. It was the Neos, the Niers, the Hellblades that were, even though they were timed exclusives, it just doubled down the whole exclusive thing in the favor of Sony. When you take those Japanese games away, right? Except for Hellblade, then the numbers the gap ain't that wide. So again, Sony player base, open your goddamn mouths because it ain't a given. Y'all gonna keep getting these Neos and stuff like that. To like Bunny's point, they could double down on Nintendo and then y'all gonna be ass out.
Now, if that's true, if they don't have those Japanese exclusives like they did this generation, because like being Studios, Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, and Gorilla, and Sony Santa Monica, right? Those are the only studios that's really doing AAA games for Sony, right? Pretty much, right?
Yep.
So we know what those studios are doing. You know what I'm saying? Ben just dropped Days Gone. Naughty Dog's doing The Last of Us 2. Sony Santa Monica's doing God of War 2. Guerrilla's probably doing Horizon Zero Dawn 2, or maybe another Killzone. Who the hell knows? So I don't know, man.
Who's doing Ghost of Tsushima?
Sucker Punch.
Okay.
And we know what they're doing. And we know what they're doing. So I don't know.
Kojima's doing Death Stranding.
Yeah, but they don't own them though.
Now Neeples, on the other hand, he's a Spider-Man lover. You know what I'm saying? He's probably saying, Sony don't need nothing else. They got Spider. What you think, Neeples? If they lose that Japanese support, is it still greatness awaits?
Well, the Sony fans will stick up for anything, but hey, waiting's a good idea to them. But anyways, I don't know. I guess if you take away the Japanese support, their exclusive list really goes down. Because I think Garrett pointed this out to Porter Rock, like in 2018. Hey, Porter Rock, 2017 was a strong year for Sony, right? Because of those exclusives. But now that a lot of them were taken away and went to Xbox, Crash Bandicoot, Nioh, Nier, like a bunch of games went over to Xbox. Yep. Their lineup didn't really look that great. And, Porter Rock retorted, that was time exclusive, so it did its job. And I agree with him. Mm-hmm. But, realistically, if you do take away the Japanese support, the exclusive list goes way down. Though I think we have to also look at this realistically. I know they're centering these Japanese games, and maybe the Switch port and stuff will be better because they're non-censored, but I don't see the Japanese support dying on the PlayStation 4 and 5. Like, I do see
definitely
that staying there. Like, realistically, yeah. And even speaking about this year, I agree with you, Moss. 2019 is going to be a slower year for PlayStation. They have Days Gone. People don't want to talk about it, but Medieval or whatever the fuck that is, nobody cares about that game.
That shit looks trash.
I make fun of it looks like trash. I make fun of J-Dub. Like, that's your voodoo Vince. I'm sorry, bro.
Absolutely, that's their voodoo Vince. That is 100% their voodoo Vince. Perfect.
But realistically, like, I think 2020 is not going to be necessarily a bad year because The Last of Us 2 is definitely coming out at least next year. It's about done. Like, it might even be this year. I think it's next year because Sony wants as many sales as possible. They don't want competition. And I don't think it's a dumb move, honestly, to release a holiday. And I do think that Kojima game, they're saying that's going to go gold soon. I don't know about going gold soon, but I don't think it's too far off, at least. Mm-hmm. That's what I can say about that. Yeah. So I think 2020 is going to be a good year leading up to the PlayStation 5. And the big thing they'll say is backwards compatibility. The PlayStation Nation made fun of backwards compatibility. Don't let them flip-flop on that. Mm-hmm. But they're going to hype the shit up.
I wonder how that PlayStation. I wonder how. Never mind. That was. I'll keep that to myself. Now see we got King Thrash in the chat. I ain't gonna ask that question.
You wondering how they're going to have backwards compatibility without emulation?
Yeah, like with PlayStation Now. Yeah, Buddy, why are you trying to get me in trouble, Bonnie?
I'm not
you know King Thrash is lurking in the chat. He's waiting for me to slip up.
No, it's not, but that is a thing that us as gamers need to ask. Yeah. How is it that you can do backwards compatibility, but you were so against it? Now all of a sudden you can do backwards compatibility, but you're emulating it. Yeah. We're not getting the full experience. Mm-hmm. You have to ask those types of questions. They want our money. I want that answer.
I need answers now.
And that's something I did. I do like about the PC. If I want to play an old game, I don't have to plug up some old PC I had. I can just play it. And there was some games on the PS2 I wish I can play again. I know they look like shit, but I really want to play some of those old WWF SmackDown games. I used to love those games.
That was a fun game.
Oh, I used to love those games. And I would love to play those games. But I don't have a damn PS2. I'm not about to get on eBay and get some damn PS2 and hook it up to some old ass TV. I don't want to do that. Cords. So I really do wish I could just play those games on my PS4. So yeah, that's one thing I do. Moving forward, that should never be a problem anymore. I think every generation will be backwards compatible.
But I've seen that argument where people say, like, why do you need backwards compatibility? Just keep your old console, hook it up to that old ass TV. And I'm like, have you just never experienced using backwards compatibility in your current gen system? You must be a PS4 owner. Because being on my Xbox, being able to boot up an old ass OG Xbox game, it's cool. It looks like shit. You play it for 20 minutes and you're like, yeah, I'm good. But the fact that I can do that and then moving forward, play some of the 360 games aren't bad. Like Splinter Cell Blacklist, for example. They just
I'm playing that right now.
That game looks beautiful from the enhancement. That's great. Your Xbox One games, they're not going to look that bad next generation. Absolutely. Like, that's going to be the start. You're going to start building these digital libraries. And to MM2K's and Snow Bunny's point for their next gen, I'm still on the boat where I think Sony's big thing is going to be selling you backwards compatibility instead of going to the next generation. Their slogans are going to be something like upgrade to the next generation. You take all your shit with you, maybe not your controllers, not sure about that part, but all your games and all that shit, it goes with you. Build your library, build your digital library. That's Sony's take. Xbox is doing the same shit, but Sony, I will give them the install base right now because they're the clear winners of this generation, and they probably assume they're going to be the clear winners of next generation. Whether that's true or not, we have to wait and see.
They're probably going to win next generation.
Yeah.
I mean,
I imagine they're going to win, but
it's going to be much more competitive, I believe, though.
Oh yeah, very.
I think, like I said, I'm waiting because, like I said, this is just looking just like how the PS2 was heading into the PS3. This is looking just like the Xbox 360 was heading into the Xbox One. I'm not saying anything about any of them, and how the Wii went into the Wii U. I'm not saying anything until they launch yet, because tides can turn. With backwards compatibility, with the Switch going back to a cartridge-based system, I hope and pray the next generation for Switch will do what they did with the DS and the 3DS family, where all the DS games, that's how they were able to keep the systems going for so long, because all the DS games could play on the next console coming out. I could play DS games on my 3DS.
Yeah. And speaking about that, like that's just a side topic I want to ask you real quick, Bunny. How do you feel about the 3DS family? Do you feel like they're at the end of the road, like with the Switch out and stuff, or do you think they're going to keep going strong?
Oh, they've already stated that they're not. There's like last year alone, only one game that I can remember came out for the 3DS. And this year they have stated that they're slowly killing it off, and I don't think anything else is coming out. I mean,
there's a Switch Mini coming out, or at least that's the rumor, right? So, like, I think that could kind of take its place. And honestly, you know, I like the Switch. I like the portability and stuff. I wish it was backwards compatible with some of the 3DS so I can play, like, maybe the older Pokemon games. But I'm cool with the way they're doing it. Maybe they'll make those games digital so I can download them at least. I don't know. But I do see the Switch being the successor to that type.
Actually, I know that on the 3DS you can download the older Pokemon games.
Yeah. But I mean, like, on the Switch, though, I wish I could be able to download the 3DS games.
They might be.
Yeah, I hope they do that.
Because, I mean, we just got Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy IX that were digital downloads only.
Yeah.
So, you might.
Yeah, King Thrash there in the comments, and that's how I feel. The tides could always turn in the next generation, right? I know Nintendo, they came out of nowhere with that Switch, and they killed it. Like, we have to admit it, the Nintendo Switch is killing it. It's going to keep killing it. But I just think this Microsoft is just a different Microsoft from the OG Xbox to the 360. I don't know if Phil Spencer wants to necessarily go all out for, you know, his hardware sales. I think he's a very software type of mentality. That's what he's going for.
But here to that point,
like less hardware, more software, right?
Yeah, I think we gotta elevate ourselves, man. We have to come from the caveman days, hunched over, and we got to get into the more modern Homo sapien days, right? Where we're walking upright. Look, you can no longer judge exclusivity to a box.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to a digital ecosystem, whether it's PS Now, xCloud, Nintendo, cell phone, wire, string can, whatever everybody decides to do. That's how you're going to judge. Your exclusivity is going to be branded to the service, right? Now, the thing is that PlayStation is not going to put their service on a rival piece of hardware. Right. We know Nintendo's not going to do that. Will Microsoft not do that? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But Microsoft, again, in Nitho's point, has a different agenda. So when we talk exclusivity, we can't be counting how many boxes are sold. Like, for instance, when the PlayStation 3 caught up to the Xbox 360 last gen, it didn't matter. You know why it didn't matter? Because the 360 still curb stomped it in software. I think it was still like 50 million ahead in software sold. That's where the money is made. So it's coming more to that revelation next generation and beyond. So just keep that in the back of your mind. We got to get beyond just a box. We got to go to how much money's being made and how much software is being pushed, period.
But you also have to look at, I sent a Twitter tweet out about this. Nintendo is saying, yes, they're moving into the digital generation, but they are also keeping a dedicated console.
Mm-hmm.
They said that they are moving forward with digital. Yes, digital is a big thing. They're monitoring how the digital thing is, but they feel that a unique experience is with a box, and they are forever going to do, for as of right now, under Furukawa, they're going to do a dedicated box also.
And let me say this: I'm reading King Thrash in the chat. He's trying to get in here, but him and FC is going back and forth. King Thrash is saying there's no way Xbox is going to compete next gen. They're going to do worse. I don't know why he think they would do worse next gen than they did this gen.
Mm-hmm.
If they go up against Google and fight Google head on in the PC realm, that's where they might lose out at, because everybody has Google on the PC and everybody has Windows on a PC for the most part.
I get King Thrash's argument. King Thrash is saying
PC.
King Thrash has been saying that because for a couple things, because Xbox is going on different devices, going on PC, that's less incentive for it to sell. And then he's been stating that they're going third party, and they're not going third party. No, they're going digital distribution, likely like a Steam. They're trying to become a better Steam. With that being said, that's not a failing initiative. It may not be a hardcore initiative, but it's not necessarily a failing initiative. Let me give you an example. My 13-year-old son is the future of gaming. The future of gaming is I want to be able to game off my goddamn tennis shoes if I can. Don't be surprised if 2023 there's some goddamn tennis shoe peripheral that you could game off of. That's the future of gaming. It's not going to take over gaming, but it's going to become an option that over time is going to grow and grow and grow. So with that being said, Microsoft, with all its servers, with all of its Azure servers, and with all of its attempt for outreach, if they can scathe off Google Stadia and whatever Amazon is doing, they will have an upper hand in this whole battle for digital distribution. So again, we got to elevate our minds from this whole caveman mentality of what a box is doing opposed to what your digital ecosystem is doing.
Absolutely, man. We're in 2019. It's like with Porter Rock. I notice he always say Sony would never do multiplayer games. Sony would never put their games on anything.
Yeah, and then they went and invested in a multiplayer game.
No, you know what? Let me say this real quick, and I'm gonna shut up. Let me say, big up. I don't agree with a lot what King Thrash is saying, but I know him and Violent is going back in the chat. I'm gonna say this to my man Thrash's point. Thrash is not anti-Xbox. He's anti-Phil Spencer. You know, and I can relate to that a little bit. I can relate, but he's not anti. He says he has a lot of anti-Xbox rhetoric, but it's coming from a place of anti-Phil Spencer, and I can get that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Man, that nigga anti-Xbox.
No, he's not. Let me tell you something about Thrash. Thrash is a pro gamer. He's all about the games. He don't care what platform it's on. He doesn't care who's developing the game. If it's Sony doing something stupid, he calls out Sony. If it's Nintendo doing something stupid, he calls out Nintendo. If Xbox is doing something stupid, he calls out Xbox. He's all about the games. He don't care where they are. He just wants the games.
Real Massman said, hold on, Mass ain't no we need to make Mass a mod too. He said Trash is a pony that refuses to recognize his hooves, or Thrash. Oh man, that's funny.
Thrash trying to get it here. What time is it? Because you know that nigga can talk.
Hey, bro. Hey, Thrash, we'll get you on next week because I got to play some Rage 2, brother. I got to play some Rage 2.
Oh, and let's get into Rage 2, man.
Oh, okay.
So, who's played Rage 2 in here? You played it, Nethos? I know Bunny played
it. Right, Nethos is an ass.
Okay.
I played it.
I played it too. So,
go ahead. You give your take first.
All right, first off, let me say this. I am one of those gamers that you guys might laugh at me because sometimes I can't tell the difference between 30 and 60 frames per second, right?
Mm-hmm. So I never can.
But let me tell you something about this damn Rage 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the smoothest feeling first-person shooters I have ever played in my life.
Facts.
the decision to make the game 1080p 60 was a great decision because this game runs so smooth, bro.
Yep.
And there's a little Doom in there, like you said. I didn't like Doom, right?
Yeah, me neither.
But this game, it's something about this game that's fire, man. It's so smooth. I mean, you're shooting people, you're blowing them away with a little shit, and the game is great. So far, I'm enjoying it, man. I actually stopped playing Days Gone. I've been on because Days Gone is like 200 hours long. That shit would never end. But I stopped playing that to play this Rage 2, and so far, I'm enjoying it big time.
Yep. My experience with Rage 2 is I did not like Rage 1. Okay. I hated Rage 1. Rage 1 to me was doo-doo soup. Okay. Doom came out and everybody was raving Doom, and Doom to me, I just didn't like it. It was just a bunch of
that shit gets boring, man.
It was multiplayer boring. That was squeezed into a wannabe single player campaign. I didn't like Doom. I didn't like it. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that. However, so my faith in id Software now, I was like, id can make beautiful looking games. The guy Carmack that used to work at id has developed some of the most dynamic programming methods known to gaming. He's like the grandfather of gaming engines. If you a little fun fact. So, but besides that, my faith in id Software is next to nilch. Man, I'm going to tell y'all, mammy jammies tonight, that Rage 2 is on some shit. Okay, Rage 2 is that first-person shooter that we've needed this generation. Because I get it. Last generation, we were oversaturated with first-person shooters. Everybody loves third-person shooters and action games and, the over-the-shoulder shit. And all the first-person shooters just felt like carbon copies. I am telling you, Rage 2 is on some different shit. It's on a whole nother level. It takes first-person shooters to another level. Y'all got to try this game out. And I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let my brother Nethos talk. But to me, this is just a segue into a whole different subject too, next to Rage 2 being, I think, a fantastic game. But why do we think that games like Rage and Days Gone and all the other stuff, what is y'all opinions on why you think these games are getting subpar and shitty scores this generation? You know what I'm saying?
That's a damn good question. I don't know, man, because I felt that Days Gone was not a 72. It's not a 90, but I would give it like a high 70s. But it's just like, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I think maybe it's more positive to be negative, if you guys catch my drift. You get more clicks if you're negative. I don't know, man. But Rage 2 is a damn good game. Like, what's his Metacore sitting at right now?
I think it's like 7. It's like it's anywhere
73. Between. It was about Days Gone.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. No,
yeah. I mean, and this game, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Different generation of reviewers, okay?
We do. Thank you, Bunny.
I mean, Goat Simulator getting an 8 out of 10, and you're a stupid goat. Different generation of gamers.
Bunny, it's the internet age. That's what it is. Like, some of these games probably get good scores because they're memes. Like, Goat Simulator is a fucking meme. That's why I got a good score. But I haven't played either Days Gone or Rage 2 yet, but I will say, just looking at some of the reviews and how they write it, Days Gone apparently had issues before the patches. I can't speak on that. I haven't played the game. And Rage 2, I haven't played that either, but reading one quote, I think Bloody Knuckles posted it. He says, it got to the action too fast. I'm like, the fuck do you mean it got to the action
fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And it's not a cinematic experience, obviously, right? Like, Rage 2 was not that, so people probably don't like that aspect. I don't know. I haven't played the game, but I will say I do like that they went with the 60 option. They made that a lock 60 frames AC, and that's fucking good. I don't care that's 1080p. And like Dirt, you probably have a 4K TV and you have an Xbox One X. Do you think the game looks worse because it's 1080p, or do the graphics blow your mind?
Now, actually, I think it does look a little blurry. Maybe because okay. I'm used to 4K and all that. Yeah, it does look a little blurry, compared to another game like even that Splinter Cell Blacklist is definitely much more blurrier than that game. So yeah, it's definitely blurry. But you can tell the graphics are good. It's just in 1080p. and we kind of got spoiled with the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, you know. So
yeah, I mean, maybe they could have bumped up the resolution a little bit, but I think they wanted a locked 60 frames per second, and that's what they really went for. And it looks like they really did achieve that. But you know, Rage 2, it looks awesome. Moss, me, you, and even Bryant talked about this. The way I saw Rage 2 when its initial trailer, to me, that looked like a straight up Xbox game, like the OG Xbox 360. Like that's the type of shooters we want.
Yes,
that type of shit right there. That type of shit.
So
that's what I want.
Here's what I think is going on. This is why I asked that question. I think what happened is, even though we get that Phil took over and Phil's just trying to re-up for next gen, that's fine. Regardless if you like what Phil is gearing up for or not, we'll see at E3. But regardless of that, the problem with sitting out and trying to re-up without still putting out hardcore content every now and again is that your competition makes the narrative. Notice how the narrative last gen was first person expansive experiences like a BioShock, you know what I'm saying? Like a Fallout, like a Rainbow Six, right? New Vegas. And now it's the third person games. We're getting a Division and a freaking Ghost Recon in the same year. Like, come on. It's all that third person over the shoulder stuff, which I love third person games, don't get me wrong. But see how because Xbox took a back seat, Sony is now controlling the narrative? That's a problem. Like to Neithel's point, this is a game that we could see last gen being exclusive to Xbox and rallying the troops. So my message is Xbox, PlayStation, whoever the hell you are, Madbox, if y'all decide to come back out, do not ever take your foot off the gas. That's my theme today. Don't take your foot off the gas because now Sony controls the narrative. Everybody wants third person, story-driven, linear type of games, right?
Hold your hand, yep.
Yeah, hold your hand game. And when you don't give that, even Days Gone, even Sony's games are catching that flag. Days Gone is a different Sony exclusive, and now it's catching the flag. So you got to control the narrative so people can keep your eyes on different types of stuff. And by Microsoft not competing, everybody, the narrative is basically third person over the shoulder game.
So really
Sony
is like
the narrative also.
My favorite because... maybe I'm going with that shit.
Yeah. Do you remember that tweet you guys posted? It was like a guy with the freaking pony or whatever.
Oh. The unicorn?
Yeah, that was funny.
What the holy hell?
Oh my God. I'm not gonna lie, that's some Sony fans on Twitter, bro. Yeah, like they don't care as long as the game is exclusive to PlayStation. If it dares go to the Switch or Steam, that shit is trash. But Boss, now that you and Dirt have played the game, do you guys feel that they should have included a 2-player co-op at all?
In my opinion, they could have. I don't know why.
To me, that game screams 2-player co-op. Yeah, that's me.
I don't know why. But you know what?
Get that.
Go ahead.
I don't see the 2-player co-op because the game moves so fast.
It
moves so fast. I don't think co-op would have.
You got to play a ton of. I didn't expect it to move like this.
But it's smooth, man. I'm saying it's really smooth.
Yeah, this is a very fast-paced game, and it's hard to. It would be hard for co-op players to stay together to keep up with each other. It's very fast-paced. There ain't no time to strategize. It just blows shit up and let it rip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, but so far the game is pretty good. I'm only about like a couple hours in. Like, what about you, Moss?
I'm about an hour in. I was late to work this morning. I'm guilty. I'm about an hour.
That's a damn shame, man.
Wait, hold on. Have you guys played Mad Max earlier in the game?
I like Mad Max.
All right. So how much better is this game than Mad Max?
It's definitely 60 frames per second. Mad Max was 30.
Well, yeah. Well, like Mad Max was like a Batman type game too. Like you had the car and shit, but you were fighting like Batman.
Yeah. Well, there's no fighting in this one. This
this is an actual shooter.
Yeah. It's good so far. I'm really enjoying it.
Like the open world and everything's better because Mad Max is kind of empty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is empty also. But
it's empty. It's not. There's not. Yeah, you're not going to have scenarios like in Days Gone where motherfuckers throw a flaming car at you and shit. Like you're not gonna have that. Yeah. It's when you go on your missions. When you actually go on your missions, that's when the action hits you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, you see FC and King Thrice going.
They going at it, bro. Hey yo, real talk. Clear y'all schedules for next week. Come on, Scrampunks, baby. Settle the battle, baby.
This shit that King Thrice saying is absolutely ridiculous, man.
WrestleMania 35. Baby. I don't even know which WrestleMania.
Donnie Magic should come back, and Phil is literally killing the Xbox. He's killing the Xbox. They has acquired 7 new studios, right? They're going dead.
I can understand his point. So, like, Phil is really setting up Xbox for the next generation, but he's killed the hardcore perspective of the Xbox, like the whole exclusivity and everything. That's gone. Like all that shit you like from the 360 OG, that shit's gone. This is a new Xbox.
Microsoft. Yeah, that's more Microsoft.
Yeah, this is a whole new Xbox.
I see it like this. I see to where.
Hey, Calyrex, man, it's too late. It's too late for that shit, man. I ain't about to let them on the
No, bro. We gonna set it up. We gonna set it up. We gonna ink the deal.
FC versus King Thrash.
I look at it like this.
And I have my popcorn, okay?
Yeah, exactly. We gotta pop that popcorn. I wonder what Bunny thinks about this, right? Because I want to get your take. I think it started all last gen when Microsoft has a habit of saying, and they tried to do it this time, but they have a habit of saying, "We beat you. It's over. You're gonna cower in the corner." And you're not going to be able to beat us, and we're going to go into this commercial connect thing. And Sony was just plotting for their comeback. And I think what happened was Microsoft didn't learn, as a whole, as a company, didn't learn how to turn ideas into profit. They were making a lot of money, but they were churning out a lot of money and expenses too. That's why Steve Ballmer and all of them is gone. And then comes Satya Nadella. Satya Nadella, Neithel's uncle, Satya Nadella has raised the stock price at least 140% since he's been there. Okay, he's cut all the fat. Microsoft is the most profitable it's ever been, even under Bill Gates. So with that being said, you fast forward to now, and you have Donnie D, who's had big ideas. He had more hardcore stuff to Neithel's point, but I think Phil did save gaming at Microsoft. But the question is, did he save Xbox? We're gonna find out this E3. Did he save Xbox? What do you think about that?
No. Here's how I'm seeing it. Like it's like you guys said, Xbox, and they made Xbox studios now where they're trying to get away from Microsoft. Microsoft is still controlling the purse strings.
Yep.
And they're looking at it like this. Microsoft is on most PCs in the world. Windows 10 is the biggest operating system. Okay, why worry about these? Let's just put out there the 40 million people who bought these Xboxes when we could buy all these studios, make all these games, and hit the 1 billion. Remember, Phil said they want to hit 2 billion gamers. How else are they going to hit 2 billion gamers?
Yeah,
the only way is through PC.
Yeah, to PC and mobile devices. They want 2 billion live accounts out there. That's what they care about.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So we're going to see this E3 is, like I said earlier, this E3 is do or die for Xbox.
And let me just say this, and I'll turn it over to Neithels and Griggity. Let me just say this. Y'all got to understand how the market works. Microsoft, so y'all sit there and y'all talk all this shit. Oh, they're giving out Game Pass for $1 or Xbox Live and this and that. You got to understand that it's not that they are looking to make money off of Xbox Live and Game Pass on its own. What happens is they take those numbers from Xbox Live and Game Pass, and they're expecting to start reporting them next gen. And they take that to their investors. And they say, ooh, investors, look how many subscribers we have. Look how many potential investment opportunities you have if you would give us money. Again, the games and the services and the customers are just a catalyst to their main goal, which is investors. You got to understand that to understand their strategy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys. My bad.
Yeah, no, actually, I want to hit on that point. So I remember when the report came out, and I don't know how credible it is, but it says Microsoft's Game Pass is like at over 9 million. Now, I don't know how credible that number is, but I think we can agree at least it's in the million. At least it's 2 million, right? Because Phil confirmed that.
Phil said millions.
Yeah, he did confirm that. So a lot of people coming at me like, well, it's only $1, right? So they're making, what, $8 million at the most? And it's like, that's not the point of it being $1 for 3 months or 1 month. The point is they got you in, right? And once you get into a service like that, even if it was free for the first month, 2 weeks, they get you addicted to that. Like, wow, I'm playing this game. I like this game a lot. If I stop paying this service, I can't get the game. I guess I could directly buy the game, but people like the idea of, hey, look, I pay $10 or I pay $1 for 3 months. I get to keep these games along with a bunch of other games. And it keeps increasing. Like, what game did we just get in there? We got Tomb Raider in there. That's a new game. Just Cause. That's a new game.
Just Cause.
Vampires in there too.
Wolfenstein 2. Hey, but I remember King Thrash and Tim was going at it on Twitter, and King Thrash like posted like 5 old ass PlayStation Now games and saying, yeah, Xbox Game Pass, we got shit better than this. Tim just fucking laughed because he didn't feel like arguing, I guess. And so like you just said, name 5 great games right there, right? Wolfenstein 2, Prey, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
It's bigger than that because and big up to Thrash, but I don't think with Thrash is trying to he's sticking to an argument of this ain't going to be successful because it's not good for the hardcore. And that's not necessarily true. It's a shame. I don't like it, but it's not necessarily true. Again, if Xbox Game Pass is up to $9.5 million, I can imagine, I can just break that scenario down in one of the investor meetings that I sit in. We have 9.5 million subscribers. Our competitor only has 700,000.
Yeah, think about that. PlayStation now to 700,000. Not even 1 million.
Investment opportunity. We can start charging for this DLC. This that. That's customers are not the end all be all for Fortune 500 companies. It's the investors that are. We are a catalyst to the investors. You got to remember that. So numbers are big in this scenario, and if they can toot a bigger number like that, it is to their advantage.
But you also
hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Valamont said Xbox Game Pass only get old games. Okay. So PlayStation now got some brand new bangers. Okay.
Brand new. Hey, Valamont, sit your drunk ass down, man. Put that scotch away.
I mean, when they start off, when Xbox stepped their gaming exclusive situation up, Gears 5 is going to be there day and date.
Yep.
Necessary next game is going to be there day and date. Halo Infinite is going to be there day and date. So, listen, I don't give a shit what y'all saying. Y'all saying PS Now is better than Xbox Game Pass. I can't rock with y'all on that one, bro. I'm sorry. Yes, they have more games in there. But I'm sorry, I can't rock with
y'all. Some of that shovelware. Same for Xbox, but go ahead, Bunny.
I was going to say is one thing that everybody is worried about here is the hardcore gamer. Everything's going against the hardcore gamer. Times have changed, and I'm going to tell y'all something right now. The hardcore gamer is the minority now.
Absolutely. Absolutely, we're a minority. We've been a minority for a while.
No, we used to be the majority. Give it 20 years ago. Look at how
we were 20
years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
We were the majority. Now hardcore gamers are the minority. If you're saying, okay, nothing but hardcore gamers bought the Xbox, then that means 40 million people. Versus, because like I could tell you right now, some games that I want this year coming out, and some games I have on the Switch right now, they released them on the Switch and the PS4, and Xbox got bypassed. So if you're saying the hardcore gamer guys are the minority now.
We are.
Once it hit mainstream,
facts, absolutely,
they're going to cater to that mainstream audience with whatever they do.
Yep.
And right
that's what Microsoft is doing right now.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's what Xbox is doing right now.
And you know, that's also why they're making the Xbox Lockhart. And the they're making Anaconda for guys like us, you know, for people like me, a big time gamer that buys every game, that wants the best possible console I can get because I'm not a PC guy. That's what that Anaconda's for me.
Yep.
But the Xbox Lockhart is for my friend who still got the OG Xbox One and don't want another Xbox. He didn't want the Xbox One X. All he plays is the Division. He don't want it. He's a casual. And like you said, buddy, we are the minority now. And that's just how it is. Moving forward, that's how it is.
Xbox is going to want to put, they're not going to abandon the console business because they're going to want to have X amount of consoles out there just for the simple fact that they can charge live on those consoles, right? Again, it's all about numbers, right? And think about it. That's why they're lumping Game Pass and Live in this Game Pass Ultimate thing. It's about numbers. It's about subscriptions. Investors look at these investment opportunities. So the hardware is not going anywhere anytime soon. I get the argument that people like Thrash and even myself at times is asking, what about the hardcore games? But again, don't think that this is going to be a failure because it doesn't suit the hardcore. Again, the hardcore are the what? Minority now. We just got to live with that. We got to live with that.
Hey,
now, what Microsoft has to live with too is that they need mind share. So they do need they need a good number of the hardcore to help push their idea. So to Thrash's point, they do need hardcore, but they don't solely need hardcore. They got to do a mix of both.
Right. Yeah, that's why they acquired some of those studios. But real quick, I just want to ask Moss this. So I see this perception going around that Xbox Game Pass is dooming first-party exclusives and so on for like Gears and Playground games and shit. And I see they make this comparison to the entertainment industry, and I'm guilty of doing this myself. But they say Disney's launching Disney Plus, right? Mm-hmm. So why are their movies not there day one as they are in the theaters? Because isn't that what Microsoft's doing? Now I want you to explain how stupid that is, real quick.
But why isn't Disney
like comparing movie theater showings to Game Pass?
Yeah, to Game Pass. I mean, come on, man.
Not even close to the same thing.
Who's making that argument? That's my question.
I know there's some
crazy shit out here, but look, man, look. Okay, so again, it's a numbers thing. It's a numbers thing. And let's play this game. When you can say that so many people jumped out of their home and went to the theater and did XYZ and went to a theater, those are numbers that they can to investors. They're now showing commercials at movies, right? The first 30 minutes and all that other shit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They're showing no, movies are a completely different animal. To Neithel's point, they're not going to cut off that revenue stream. Games are a little bit more streamlined, y'all. They're a lot more streamlined. Game companies like Microsoft and Sony, they're making most of their money from third parties. Yoshida told y'all himself that out of every 10 exclusives, he's only looking to make money out of 2. So stop this farce about comparing movies to video games. It's silly. It don't make any sense. Pick up Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Please, goddammit, and Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, please, man. Y'all making me cry out here, please.
I mean, these are probably the same people who said Detective Pikachu was going to beat the Avengers on the first week.
Yeah.
We can't fix stupid people.
That was crazy. I can't believe somebody actually said that. I saw who said it, by the way. I saw who said it. And I mean, I like Detective Pikachu. It was a good movie. You know,
I didn't see that.
Oh, Dirk, you don't want to go see that dog shit.
Man, listen, man.
Ryan Reynolds was funny.
Yeah.
Hey, Neithles, but Dirk's the same cat that said ain't nothing wrong with Sonic, right? So yeah,
yeah, man. Sonic was good, man.
That had to be redone.
Right. Listen,
hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button.
Yeah. Hey, King Thrash, will you stop with the fanboy shit, man? We talking about something else now, bro. Come on. Motherfuckers talking about this console war shit the whole time. Damn, let's move on, bro. All right, y'all. What else we got? Let me look at some of these other topics before we get out of here. What do we have?
Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, let's talk about
that.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I heard that Final Fantasy VII was going to be remade for the PS4 back on the days of the 360.
Get him, Bunny.
I am tired of waiting for this game.
Woo!
It's gonna be episodic, right?
Get him, Bunny. Get him.
Before it even got to episodic, when, like I said, I heard that this game was going to be remade in the 360 days, and I could tell you that because I had a roommate, and me and my roommate, we were like, oh, we need to pool our money together, because if this is a launch title for the PS4, we got to get our money together for it. I am tired of waiting on it. I forgot the game was going to be coming out until 2014.
So now they're saying that Final Fantasy VII Remake and also that rumored Avengers game that Square Enix is making, Final Fantasy VII is probably going to be delayed to, what's it, 2021? Or is it 2020?
Yeah, 2021 to 2022.
What the hell?
Look, man.
That was announced in 2014 officially, too, by the way.
Let me explain.
I thought it was 2015.
Or 2015, my bad.
Yeah, 2015.
Let me explain something, man. Look, this is where we got. I'm stealing from Z. I hope he don't take me to court. I hope he don't take me to Judge Judy. This is where we got to take the biggest knife out the drawer and cut the bullshit out. PlayStation Nation. Get out of the DMs talking about cover art for Xbox. Y'all motherfuckers been jumping out the window for Final Fantasy VII for Lord knows how long. Big ups to the homie your bar. He was on multiplayer. Man, I was excited for that shit. And now it's going to be episodic. Sony's been hanging their hats on this. We're helping bring back Final Fantasy VII. Tell Sony to get their ass in the collab studio, make this a non-episodic game, make it a full remake. Put some money into this shit and get this shit to y'all now in the season of dryness, okay?
Wait a minute, hold up. Who said it's going to be an exclusive? During the days of the PS3, Sony has said they are no longer paying for third-party exclusives. Like
it's
Final Fantasy.
Time exclusive. It's supposed to be a time
exclusive. I think it'll be the duration of it being episodic. That's when it'll be exclusive. And when it's complete, then it'll go to other platforms. I think that's the idea. King
Thrash in the chat talking about what is Microsoft bringing back. Stop judging by the lowest common denominator. Microsoft gave up. They're gone. They left. That's like me talking about the Boston Celtics now. Oh, the Boston Celtics, they're out. They're out of the playoffs. They're gone. Let's talk about the people that are still playing. Nintendo's still working on their bangers, right? Sony got 100 million consoles out there. They making buku money. They making more money than everybody, right? As far as
no games coming out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they tooting they hat on the goddamn Final Fantasy VII. It's coming to the PlayStation.
What's taking this shit so long, though?
Thank you. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all gotta stop this shit, man. Y'all gotta stop this.
Cali Rex said they had to redo the entire engine.
Yeah, because apparently it's gonna be more action based, but still, why is it episodic? Like, are you guys cool with supporting episodic games like that are AAA?
Not like that, no. I mean, like some Telltale shit, yeah, that's fine, but not like that.
Yeah, and you Telltale, those are lower tier games anyways, and that's how they're kind of made. But a AAA game, like Tomb Raider was gonna be episodic at one point.
That's why that Hitman shit didn't work. Hitman 1.
Yeah, hell no. I don't want to support that.
They changed the engine back in 2015 when they re-announced it. That's when they changed the engine.
And it's 2019. So I don't know. That shit weird to me though. You would think they would have had this game out by now. I just don't understand. Like, what, they got 12 people working on this shit? I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Well, they were doing a failure of Final Fantasy 15, which some people says is great and everything.
I mean, that game took forever to come out too.
That game took at least 10 years.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 took forever to come out. Like, what's up with
Square?
That took forever.
If I'm Sony, I'm Yoshida, I'm picking up the horn. I'm like, look, man. We hung our hats on this Final Fantasy VII. We got motherfuckers showing championship belts at E3 because of it, man.
Oh God.
Y'all need to get in the goddamn studio and get this game out. Fuck some episodic shit. Like this is some good. Like this is Attack on.
Crazy,
like this is Attack on Titan, which I'm gonna have 9 episodes of Final Fantasy VII. Get the hell out of here.
Hey, do you guys remember when they announced that shit in 2015? I don't know. It was like some dude. I don't know. He was some dude crying when they announced the remake.
Bruh.
And he was literally crying. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was like, wasn't it like a CGI trailer at first too?
Yeah. Then it's 2019. That game still ain't out, and that dude was crying, man. The
gameplay didn't look that great. Like, I mean, it looked cool, but I would expect that to be like coming out now type of cool. Not I gotta wait till 2022. Oh, hell
it's gonna be action. It's gonna be action. Based this time. So, but like the first one was turn based, right?
Yeah, it was turn based. But G5 made a point. The same director who did Final Fantasy 15. The same director who took his long ass time on Kingdom Hearts 3 is the same director doing Final Fantasy 7.
Hold on. King Thrash is in the chat. He says, no rush. Take your time, make a great game. Or you got the same energy for Microsoft?
Yeah, about to say, motherfucker. You gotta be real here.
Come on, bro, stop it.
And this is a remake. I'm cool. Take your time, no rush, but don't release it episodic.
This is not episodic. Yeah. This is not a game being built from scratch. This is a remake. Okay, there's no excuse.
No, actually, if you look at Final Fantasy VII the way it was to what they're making it into,
well, yeah, they're using the Final Fantasy 15 engine now or something.
Whatever
it looks like Final Fantasy 15.
Whatever they're doing, from what I understand, even the story may change from it.
Oh, well, then how is this Final Fantasy VII?
They're saying that it's a remake, but from what I've been hearing and reading, it might have some elements of Final Fantasy VII, but some elements of it have changed.
Oh, well, then they need to rename it something else. Then they need to. Would they come up with these weird names? Final Fantasy VII XYD. Open the door over the.
Hey, Thrash. I get it's not a Sony game, but they're definitely paying for it.
Yeah,
like they're investing to the game. There's no excuse.
Exactly. You know, so this is what they're being known for. This was a PlayStation game. Everybody's praising Sony for quote unquote helping bring this back. I can't step away from it now.
They won E3 2015 because of that game. Do you remember that?
Well, no, I never played Final Fantasy VII, right? That was like before my time. So
Shenmue 3, they won E3.
Born then, I don't think.
Would that game do well in today's market? Like, is the consumer base back then really the same as it is now? So
it might do like 3-4 million. You know what I'm saying? I can see it doing 3.
Well, you have to think about when Final Fantasy VII was released back in, I want to say 96. Yeah, 97. Mm-hmm. It was a genre changing game.
Yeah,
it put JRPGs on the market for being like that. That's what made me buy.
So he don't remember.
Yeah, but now like one.
Yeah, that's when Final Fantasy made me buy a PlayStation 1. Was for Final Fantasy VII.
And let me tell you something. But you're absolutely right, because I wasn't into turn-based RPGs at that time. I am now, but back then I wasn't. And I remember a friend of mine was like, man, do you have this? I was like, I don't want that shit. But he was like, man, this game is dope. And I remember the buzz for Final Fantasy VII was absolutely amazing. Everybody was buying the shit. It was so popular. Everybody's buying it. And yeah, you're right about it. It was a big game, a really big game.
I was working in Funko Land. If y'all remember
Funko Hell yeah, I remember Funko Land.
Okay. I was working in Funko Land. And that game kept selling out. If we got a used copy in, it was rare. And then it would sell like that. Yep. That's how popular that game was.
Yeah. Good old PS1. The PS1 was a hell of a console.
Dirt, I'm gonna increase a lot of fan hate mail to your channel and request to boot me off the podcast now.
Oh no.
Final Fantasy VI was better. Okay.
A lot of people, I know a lot of people think Final Fantasy VI.
Final Fantasy VI, but Final Fantasy VII. Okay, so I
how dare you?
Genre of all times is RPGs. My favorite video game of all times is Phantasy Star 2 that was on the Sega Genesis. That's my favorite game of all time, right? Now, with that being said, Final Fantasy VII was more story than it was more story and cutscene than it was a lot of your basic RPG elements. It was cool, don't get me wrong, it was fun. But Final Fantasy VI did a lot of that story and that cinematics, but still had like this crazy turn-based style to it that I loved, and it was challenging to where I got a lot more enjoyment out of that than I did 7. But that's just me. That's just the old man MM2K. I'm sorry, just throw that shade out there.
No, you're fine, because a lot of people now think that the Final Fantasy VI was better than Final Fantasy VII, but Final Fantasy VII put the JRP market.
Yeah, facts.
If that game had not come out, then JRPGs would not be where they are. They would still be over in Japan, and we would be crying to import them in.
That is true. You are right. You are right, buddy. I can't. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, man. The PS1 was a dope console, bro.
Oh my god, I loved it.
PS1 was one of my favorites.
Years, man. Oh man, I still got my Lunar Silver story and Blue story. I still got it in my package.
Oh my god, that game was so awesome.
Yep, man. PS1. Hey man, excuse me, damn. Yeah, the PS1 has some gems, man. I remember, the PS1. Like I always say, the most fun time of my adult life was the late 90s, 97, 98, and the PS1 was life, bro. That PS1
I burned through 2 of them. My second one died right when the PS2 was coming out. Yeah. So I bought a PS2 because I could move all my games over.
Oh man, so many PS1, Tekken. Remember Tekken and oh man, all them great games. Those SmackDown games, and oh man, that's great times for PS1.
Yeah,
PS1 is like one of my top 3. I would say maybe my number 1 favorite console of all time. PlayStation 1. No,
Oh shit.
what's yours?
What's my favorite console? 360.
360. Hey,
yeah, 360. Mine's
my,
Genesis.
man. You know what? My top 3 is PS1, Genesis, and 360. That's my top
Genesis
3.
Because me and my friends, like to Bunny's point, before games, badass Japanese games were real popular, including Final Fantasy VII. A lot of that shit didn't come here to the States. So I had a friend that had a connection in Japan. So a bunch of us, when we was younger, man, we take all of our allowance money, put it together, and we get this cat $100, and he be getting all these games from Japan. No subtitles. We don't know what the hell's going on in the game, but the games was fire. I love it.
Do you remember how anime used to be back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Where it was the fan. No. It was a fan service. So somebody would record it in Japan and they would make VHS copies upon VHS copies to pass the copies on. That's how we got a lot of our early anime.
Absolutely. Dangayo and a bunch of that shit, man. Yeah. Yep.
Hey, yeah, before we get here, let me ask you guys one quick question about your past as far as gaming goes. Midnight launches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Midnight launches. What is the most crazy midnight launch you guys have ever been to? Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I have 3, right? One of them, I was actually working part-time at GameStop, but it was bananas. The first one was Tekken 3 for the PS1. That shit was bananas that night. In Dearborn, Michigan, it was people all around this damn little small little plaza. It was ridiculous. Niggas was musty. I mean, it was. I never forget. I remember my ex-wife at the time.
Game store, musty and video game store.
Yeah, but we was outside. You could smell the dudes was musty, and it was like wintertime, I believe. Now I never forget. My ex-wife was like, "I'm married to this fool." You see, like, you can't get the shit tomorrow. I was like, hell no. Now, Tekken 3. The second one was Grand Theft Auto 4. That was big. That was big for me. But I was working at GameStop part time. Of course, I'm the big black guy. You know, I'm a big guy. The big black guy. They said, Darius, man, I need you to stay at the door and let everybody in 2 at a time. Halo 3, dude. Halo 3 was so big. Oh my god,
that one, bro.
So I literally had to let everybody in 2 at a time. Come on, man. They was lined up. Halo 3 was big. I think that might have been the biggest midnight launch I've ever been at. Halo 3.
What about you, Nathals? You ever go to a midnight launch?
I live in Vermont. We're looking to get 10 people, so I've been to one.
What about you, buddy? Did you been to a midnight launch?
Man, I'm like almost in the same boat as Nethos. I'm in Delaware, okay? So I went to the midnight launch because I was like, okay, they said there's gonna be a midnight launch for it was Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And I was like, oh, I'll go pick it up at midnight, play a few hours before I have to go to work. So I'm thinking it's only going to be me. No, they were releasing 10 games that night. Star Wars was coming out that night. And there was 50 to 75 people in that GameStop all for Pokemon. So every person who was coming in, they're like, what game are you picking up? And everybody's like, you're kidding, right? And they're like, there's 8 games coming out. What game are you picking up? And they're like, oh, we're here for Pokemon. So everybody in the store was for Pokemon.
I can imagine that was a crazy one. I can imagine.
Okay. And then they had 2 stores that, like, because we have 2 GameStops like within a 5-minute drive of each other. One is inside the mall, and the store that I go to.
Yes,
so all the people who had pre-ordered at the mall was in the store picking it up with us, and the people who were in my store picking it up. So, and they did all this, and the guy was like, man, I should just made a Pokemon display because nobody got started. They had one person show up for Star Wars at 9 o'clock.
Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. That store was packed.
Yeah, I have 3. The first one was oh damn, it just left me. What was the first one? Because I'm a cheap dude. I usually wait until what I used to do is there's a store around here called the Exchange, and so I would wait till it would like come and use at the Exchange and get it. But the first midnight launch that I was at was oh damn, I forgot. It was okay. There was an older one, but okay. The second one I was at was crazy one was Mass Effect.
Really?
Mass Effect 2 came out.
Okay, 2. Okay, I was about to say 2.
And I made the mistake.
That game was so dope.
No. I'm sorry, I'm lying. Borderlands 2.
Yeah, but Borderlands 2, you got a crazy one for that.
Yeah, Borderlands 2. I brought my daughter with me, right? And she was, I want to say she was 16 at the time. She was either 15 or 16 at the time. And she would always come up to the attic where I had my game set up and shit and watch me play my game. So she was like, oh, Dad, you know, I really like that game. I want to play when I was playing Borderlands 1. So I was like, well, I'll get us Borderlands 2. Bought her a 360 and everything. She started and getting ready for Borderlands 2. She started playing other games, like she started playing Mass Effect. So we're in the line waiting for Borderlands 2. She's looking at the cover art for Borderlands 2, and she's looking at one of the characters, and she's like, is that Tally from Mass Effect? Bruh, I don't know why that struck a nerve with all the nerves in the line, but you started hearing all the nerds oh man, but you know, fucking Tally, man. They were going crazy, man. I was like, hold on. First, I was offended. I was like, man, I'm talking to my daughter like that. But then I turned around, it was like 40, 50 motherfucking nerds. Hey, yo, shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing else. It's like, I'm just saying, Dad, ain't that Tally? I'm like, shut the
Damn, what the hell?
But the craziest one, believe it or not, was the release of the Xbox One X. When I went to go get my Xbox One X, the guys at GameStop were so mad that there were so many people there. And the guy was a PlayStation guy, right? It's a young guy.
Oh, yeah.
This motherfucker was so mad. He said, man, because they were asking questions like, oh, what about this? What about that? He's like, man, I don't get it. Why are all these people here for this Xbox One X? He was just getting hot. Yeah, I was like, damn, bro. Like, what? I mean, goddamn, this is your job. He was a trigger PS fanboy. They're upset about the Xbox One X, and people were yelling at him and shit because he was really getting upset and snapping at them because they were asking questions about Xbox One X capabilities. He's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know nothing about Xbox. I don't know.
Right.
You know,
hey, man, I get that a lot in Michigan. I don't am damn PlayStation fans. But you know what? Like I said, my top 3 consoles. But I'm going to tell you this one thing. The PS2, even though it's not in my top 3, it was essential. It was essential. And it was one of the most important consoles I had. Because it was there when I was in a rough spot in my life. All I had was my little 32-inch TV and my PS2. I was living in my boy basement. You know, I was going through a divorce. It was rough for a brother. I wasn't going back to the crib.
I guess, hey, yo, I've been there too, man.
Yeah. So it was like I had my PS2.
Yeah.
That's all I had. So I see like Viola Lamont said PS2. PS2, you know what? PS2 was up there too, man. Yeah, but you know, there was some crazy days, man. Crazy days. I don't know what made me ask you all that question.
Yeah, but no, I had a couple of interesting encounters, but
yeah. So, all right, y'all got anything else? Cause
that's it, man. Hour and a half. It's time for some goddamn Rage 2, man. Let's wrap it up.
Hey, man, you know you go to work in the morning, man. What you doing playing games?
I know, man. I might
be up at 5, and I'm going in to play Warframe. What are you talking about?
Holy shit! Yeah. I don't know how y'all do. Maybe because I'm older than y'all. I ain't
that much older than me. Come on now.
Shit, man. Okay.
I think
here's some stuff I would usually say, but we got a lady here now, so I ain't gonna say it no more.
I think you only 2 to 3 years older than me.
Actually, that's a lot. When you get older.
You were in high school when I entered high school. You ain't that much older than me.
Tell him, buddy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, my wife's 3 years older than me, so you know, so all right, y'all. We are about to get out of here. Thank you, King Thrash, the FC, G5 East Coast Gang, Von Lamont, Toby Gees, Cali Rex, everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Hey, man, y'all got anything else to say?
Check out me and Neethles, and if I can, shameless plug. Big ups to my PNTS family, FC Violent. Please check out our material on Radio Public.
And
he gone.
He gone, man.
All right, well, we get the point. PNT's network, we're doing our thing. Check out that interview me and Moss did.
Great interview.
Yeah, great interview. You know, I really appreciate they say that. Oh, wow, he's back.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn, I disappeared. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Check out PNTS Network. Check out, and then Broadband Bullies. We got a special. I don't know if we're going to air it this week, but check me, Maslin, Post Up, and Neethles. I'm probably talking too much, but we got a special show coming for the Broadband Bullies. Man, hey, look, our Walter Cronkite last week was just the beginning of it. PNTS Network, Broadband Bullies, we're taking over the airwaves. Check us out.
Ooh. All right, y'all. I'm assuming Neethles and Bunny still ain't got no content on their channels. So
no, I'm working. Hey, yeah. Man, I admit it. I've been lazy, but nah, I'm going on vacation. When I go on vacation, I'm planning on doing something.
Okay, you're gonna do like one of them what they call them, vlogs.
I'm gonna do an update to show what happened to me because I think my channel got like 200 and some people. Most of them are like crafters.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to do an update and talk about the changes in my channel.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to go from there.
Sounds good to me. So, Neethles is on podcast. Check him out. I'm going to do my little shitty videos. I really want to do a video, like I was saying in the pregame, about YouTube and shit like that, man.
Yeah, then do it. Just do it.
I will.
You'd be surprised what happens behind the scenes and how these YouTubers, you know, we come together for podcasts and so on. Like, there's a lot behind the scenes that, you know, you never really know about. And the way you think of us podcasters is not probably what happens. Like, the way we interact with each other and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do the video tomorrow. I was gonna do like a little 10-minute video, but I said I'd rather do like one of these Google Hangouts. I'll probably do one tomorrow. So
you've been doing so much content, Gregory. Like, remember, I tweeted a video today and I was like, "Oh, by Dirk Gregory," and you're like, "I appreciate that, Neethles, but that wasn't me." I'm like, "Oh shit."
You know, I try to do at least 2 videos a week plus the podcast. But if something pops up, I just kind of talk about. I will tell you guys my secret. Why I do so many videos, why it's so easy for me. I'll tell you guys in a few. Well, anyway, we're about to get out of here, y'all.
Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.
All right, peace. Oh, shit, I did it again. Hold on. I'm going to run. Okay, there it is. All right, peace out, y'all.